Hello everybody, so this is going to be an introduction to FreeCAD and the Python API. If you're not familiar with FreeCAD, it is your own 3D parametric modeler. So you can create 3D images, 3D models, and then you can send them to a 3D printer, for instance, or to a machine in a factory, a CNC machine. So what I'm just going to cover here really is just the basic introduction about how it works and how it's linked with Python, because the code is programmed mainly in C but relies heavily on Python. Well, that's the API. So if you want to interact with FreeCAD via the command line, you're effectively using Python syntax, which is amazing. So also you can use FreeCAD without the graphical user interface. So what that means is you can automate it so much. And if you've got, for instance, a parts list or a cut list, which is a CSV file or exported from a database, as long as you can produce a table of data, then you can pass that across using CSV, Pandas. You can get any data into FreeCAD just in the same way that you would with a normal Python script. So this is very good. This is very good for automation. So in a minute, I'll just quickly run through how to install. I'm not going to show you it laboriously, but I'll just quickly run through. I'm using Linux Mint. You have to install something called PyQt. Too long, don't watch. Anaconda. If you use Anaconda, then you can do conda install PyQt, and then you can attempt to install FreeCAD with Anaconda, conda. The other way you can use is a package manager built into your distro or Windows or Mac. You might find that actually gives you an older stable release. It's on 0.19 now, so I tempted to compile it from source because I gather that was the preferable way. I had a couple of errors, so in the end, rather than use package manager or compile from source, I ended up using sudo add apt repository followed by FreeCAD stable, sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get install FreeCAD. So the next thing that I started to look at was using a macro, because a macro is basically a piece of Python code but just with a macro file extension. And yeah, that's what I kind of did to start with. And before long, I realized that you don't have to run the GUI, which is amazing. So as I've already said, I don't want to repeat myself, but let's just see what it does. So just clear this mess. And what we've got is a macro, which I've written. No, sorry. Let's not do that. So what have I got? I've got a Python file here somewhere. Yeah, fc.py. And if we just do I'll do code. So code fc.py. I'm just going to show you what I've written. And I've written this with a .py file extension, which is fine. You can just call it in the same way as you would a macro. So as soon as you get into the GUI of FreeCAD, you'll see there's a macros option. Rather than do that through the GUI, we're automating it. So what I'm actually going to be doing here is I'm going to create a FreeCAD object, then I'm going to import some data. The data is in a CSV. Now this is the whole point of this video. It's about automating the creation of 3D parts. Well, say 3D parts, these could then be exported as STL files for your 3D printer. And you know me, I like to automate things on a large scale. So if you had a CSV of 100 parts, 200 parts, doesn't matter. What you do is you just import it using Pandas. I'm finding the length of the data frame here, so I've only actually put 3 lines in, but you could have 300. It makes no difference to the code. And I've got a column for the name, the width, and the height. Don't actually need the name. Other than if I wanted to name name the part after, say, a customer name, for instance, if the customer had ordered a certain part. For instance, I'm thinking if you want a 3D printer and you want a model that you keep reusing, but you just adjust the size. The whole thing about FreeCAD is it's parametric, so you can attach rules to parts. So as the part grows in height, you can then adjust the width. So if it becomes twice as high, then you can make it twice as wide, so on. So this Python code is it's a for loop. So everything within the for loop is just happening once per line of my CSV file. Let me just open that if I can, and Shift-E, in the wrong directory, sorry about that. No, let's forget that then. I'll just bring it up in terminal instead. And let's just do less c.csv. There we go, that's my CSV file. So name, height, width, so A1, A2, A3, A4, that's the name, so that could be Smith, Jones, whatever. So the height is 10, the width is 33, height is 3, 34, so on. So this file's got 4 lines, it could be really, really long. Okay, so then all we do is we have a doc object, which is basically created as app.new document. And you need to get into the FreeCAD syntax, and this is not Python specific as such. It's an object which is created from the FreeCAD software. So what we're actually doing is we're imitating what you would do if you were doing it through the GUI. So we're creating a document, and then we're adding an object. The object, I've just called it box. Now, that's the internal name for a cube. So within FreeCAD, if you create a cube, the internal name for that is box. So I'm starting on a really basic level here to start with, just to prove the concept that we can automate it via the command line, and we can produce multiple parts with the sizes being read from a CSV. So that's just the label. Then my box equals, so we're creating an instance here, and it equals FreeCAD active document get object box. And then, so we've created an object, which is the box object, and then we are assigning it a height. So my box.height equals LL. In LL, it comes from the width, which has been read from the Pandas data frame, which has been imported from the CSV. And same thing for the width. So we've got width. Oh, I've got height and width, yeah. In fact, I called that LL. I could call that LH. In fact, I've got these ran the wrong way, haven't I? So that needs to be, let's call it LH. And let's call that LW. And then that can be LW, and that can be LH. And then at the end, I'm just saving the document. So we should end up with a CSV from 4 lines, should give us 4 documents. So without further ado, I'm just saving that. And then if we go over to the command line, the whole emphasis of this video is not to teach you how to use FreeCAD. I'm not an expert, and there's many good tutorials out on the internet, or on YouTube especially. Look up the Mango Jelly channel, really good tutorials. And let's run it. So FreeCAD F. So just before we run it, I just want to show you the directory. So under A, we've just got ABC and AB. And when we run this, hopefully we should get 4 parts created. So opening FreeCAD. I've made a mistake. Sorry. Cut. I need to close this. I've opened it with the GUI. Right, let's try again. So we've got a clear directory, and what was that? Yeah, so I just deleted anything A star because I accidentally made 4 components. So FreeCAD, then we need CMD, that's the important bit. And the difference here, it just ran it without putting in the splash screen and so on. So what we've actually done is, hopefully, if I do ls, we have created 4 parts for FreeCAD. So if we do FreeCAD, there's a little bit of, so I'm opening it with the Graphical User Interface now, as you can see. And if we open it, and then if I go to File, Open, where is it? So I'm going to open one of these parts, like A1, A2, A3. They have all just been created at 1644, which is the current time. And yeah, this is the thing, because it wasn't created with the GUI, it's not actually created the visualization of it. But this is not a problem. So if we go to, let's just edit, and there we can see 10, 10, 33. So if we open the next one, A2, and then down here we go to A2. And edit cube, and that is 3 by 10, 3, 34. So these parts exist, the sizes exist, and if you remember the sizes from the CSV file, let me just bring that back up, create a new tab, ls c dot. There we go. So we had 10 by 33, 3 by 34. So the next one should be 8 by 28. So let's just check that one. And it's still showing me that one. So I need to open up A3. We're looking at edit cube, and that is 8 by 28. Is that what we had? Yes, 8 by 28. You see that there? 8 by 28, 8 by 28. So what we've actually done is we've made 4 parts based on sizes read from a CSV. This might not be that exciting to you yet, but it's going to be very powerful going forward, because it means we will be able to import widths and sizes of products from the CSV, and it will then be able to be applied, hopefully, to our parametric models. And then let me just show you. So if we do A1 and then we do export, okay, we have to just double click and then go actually into it. Select the objects to export before choosing export. There we go. So A1, and I'm going to export it as STL. Fine. A1 cube STL. Just going to save it, and I believe that's saved. So now, if I try and open it, let me just get out of this, and there we go. What I want to do is I just want to open that STL file and just show you the significance of what we've done. So I don't know if it will run with, let's just see what opens an STL file, because this is significant, because Linux STL viewer, there we go. Too much to read. Free online STL viewer. Okay, let's just upload it, so I don't care. But just for the purposes of this video, I just want to show you. I just want to show you the STL file that we've just made. And there you go. That is our our part that we've just made. So we've made that from the CSV file. That was what we made from line 1 in our CSV file. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be looking at making a parametric model, and then we will be importing some more sizes, and we'll be getting some assemblies potentially by using FreeCAD CMD to automate the creation of parts. So hopefully this has been interesting, and yeah, if you want FreeCAD tutorials as such, then yeah, there's some good ones. Mango Jelly on YouTube, really good. So yeah, thanks for watching, and in future we're going to be looking at how we can automate the creation of more interesting pieces. And if you're looking at this for potentially, you can do woodworking, or you can do let me just show you some other stuff on FreeCAD before we go. So FreeCAD bunk bed. If you type in FreeCAD bunk bed and then go to one of the first results, FreeCAD bunk bed design, I think it was on the FreeCAD forum. There we go. So this has been drawn using FreeCAD. And that was the actual real life product, and they've obviously created the line drawings from the FreeCAD model. And wow, that's the factory. IKEA-like instructions, impressive. Like the assembly instruction, very much looks like the IKEA production. I worked for IKEA supplier for 12 years. Fair enough. Yeah, now you can see what you do is, I've just made a part with my example that I've showed you, but obviously then you create assemblies. Assembly is several parts put together, and there we go. So the whole point of this is that we're going to be going forward is we're going to be making a parametric model. So I'm thinking about designing a chair, and then as the chair changes in size, it adds more slats and makes it wider, higher, deeper, and so on. So again, this is not really a pure FreeCAD tutorial. It's about automating FreeCAD and using FreeCAD with Python. And as if I've not mentioned it enough already, let's just open up FreeCAD, and I'll just one last time we'll run through the actual Python side of things, because you're effectively seeing Python commands in real time as FreeCAD does things for you. I don't know why that's running slow. I'm running multiple screens here, so yeah. So as you can see, the Python console down here, everything you do is basically a Python command, because what the front end is doing is talking to the back end using Python. And you know, if we do a part, so you've got start in here, you've got all your part design and stuff, and then you've got sketch. So you can, if you create a part design, and then you create the body, create a sketch, XY plane, you can see all these commands. Sorry, I'm pointing, but down here, look. So what we've done there is we've chosen the XY plane, and hopefully it should give us a nice drawing screen. Yeah. So then if we want to create, let's create a square, and you can see already in the bottom the Python command for that was, it was quite a lot there actually. That was, for instance, if you just specified create rectangle 0, it would actually create the object, but you need to pass it obviously pass it the dimensions. So that'll be something we can look to do in the future as well. Coincident, that's just saying the first line and the second line, or 0 and 2. So basically the first and the third lines are parallel. The constraints just say this line and this line are coincident. Coincident. So these two lines meet, these two lines meet, these meet, and then these meet. Yeah, so this is not really a full-on FreeCAD tutorial because I'm not an expert, but what I wanted to really show you was just the Python console. So again, if we just, even here, we're in the FreeCAD screen, but you can still do Python. I mean, we could do import pandas here. Import pandas as PD. PD df equals pd.read. We're seeing it's even offering, it's even providing us with the drop down of potential options of wow, how good is that? So we could probably even import Scrapey. I don't think it's installed in my conda. No, it's not. So there we go. I don't really think web scraping through a 3D modeler is probably a good idea anyway, but I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll be back next time, and hopefully I will have made a parametric model and automated that from a CSV. When I say CSV, that could either be CSV itself, you could read, you could use pandas to read from a CSV, or even better, you could use pandas to read from a database, and hopefully in the future that might be something which I'll cover as well. So yeah, sorry about the sunlight stripes. It's sunny today for a change. Well, very sunny, but hope it's sunny where you are. And don't forget to like, subscribe and all that. Thank you.